In today's training, I'm going to be teaching you exactly how to create core scalable micro offers that is going to generate your business multi 6 to 7 figures. And this is the exact blueprint I use to turn my $11 offer into a 50,000 cash injection. So I'm going to be explaining everything from the start to the end, and you're going to plug and play this by the end of this video into your business so that you create offers that collapses the buying timeline whilst simultaneously attracting the most dreamiest aligned clients without you ever hopping on a sales call, without you ever having to convince. It's insanely simple, and once you apply it, you cannot unsee it in your business. What I see a lot of the times when it comes to most offers in this space, people give everything inside a course, aka inside a course, they give everything about content creation. They talk about sales, they talk about positioning, they talk about scripts and things like that. And although it ends up getting great testimonials and it ends up getting great reviews, what happens is the customer ends up thinking they have the full piece of the pie. They're happy, they're great. Whenever they get stuck, they can just go back to the training. It's self-paced, right? And then what happens? They never buy from you again. They don't go into your one-on-one. They don't go into your close proximity spaces because they think, okay, perfect, fine. Their resources are enough. That is not how you are going to scale your business in 2026, nor is it actually going to give you stacked MRR. So what we're going to do is the magnetic wealth way. We're going to focus on micro offers that collapses the buying timeline by focusing on each and every single offer solving a micro specific problem. So instead of you having everything in a single micro offer, you are going to focus on a micro specific topic, aka meaning one micro offer could be talking about positioning, another could be talking about messaging, another could be talking about sales psychology, maybe mindset, maybe subconscious rewiring. Then this client, because it solves a micro specific problem, believes then, okay, I do not have the full piece of the pie. If she is already talking about so many things in X, Y, and Z micro offer, I wonder what else she's going to talk about in the other micro offer. She ends up becoming a retaining client who buys from you over and over again, and also collecting your micro offers like Pokemon. And then obviously when the offer is set up correctly, you dismantle the objections, you place it in a way where it becomes inevitable for them not to sign up. They go into your core scalable offers and into your one-on-ones without you ever having to say a single hello to them, because every single audio training, every single audio recording riff that you do is designed to make her go from, I don't know who she is, to, I really resonate with this woman, to holy crap, what did this woman do to me exactly? And how is she able to understand exactly where I'm in my business, and basically choose you as the obvious choice, because each and every single training is designed to make you as the obvious choice. By the way, this is Editing Kelly here, and clearly the second part of the video, my boyfriend was dying on the Titanic because the video is super shaky, so I just wanted to come in and apologize in advance, but I promise you there is still a lot of value within this video. Please do not let his shaky hands be the reason why you stop watching. So you are the coach. What are your 3 pillars? Because the 3 pillars is exactly what we're going to base our micro offer around. Let's say you are a fitness coach. Let's say you are a mindset coach. Let's say you are a relationship coach. What are the 3 things that your client and your audience knows you for, right? In my case, I'm a content and messaging coach. So I'm known for feminine sales, messaging, and positioning. And it's very important to come up with a micro offer from each and every single one of these lenses. And what's also important is when you're creating your micro offer to make sure that each product should solve a micro specific symptom and also a high level desire beyond just a surface level problem and also a desire. We want to focus on something very specific that makes them go, how the hell does she know that about me? That makes her go, oh my gosh, this product was literally created just for me and me alone, right? So in my case, for feminine sales, it would be magnetize and scale, how to sell to the subconscious. What is the symptom that my audience is going through? Well, the symptom that my audience is going through, well, the problem that she's going through is that she is not making sales. The symptom itself is that she doesn't actually align with the way that she's selling. She is taught all of these masculine sales tactics. She's taught to hop on sales calls, handle objections, dig into their pain points, and she doesn't align with them. Every single time she hops on a sales call, she just hopes that, I really hope the person forgets. I really hope the person just doesn't show up to the call. I hope the Wi-Fi disconnects. I hope that I can just unplug my laptop, because she's coming from a place of misalignment. All of these harsh, like BS masculine tactics on someone who's so empathetic, who's so feminine, it just doesn't work for her. Therefore, there is angst against selling. So what is the high level desire that she wants? Well, she wants to feel good when she's selling. She wants to feel at ease whenever she's selling. She wants to show up to the DMs with conviction when she's selling her offer. She wants to price drop without flinching, without peeling her nails or acrylics on her table, because she's just so scared of whether or not she's going to get an objection. She wants to be so certain about her offers that people buy from her frequency alone. She wants the entire sales process to feel fun, to feel natural, to have the dreamiest clients coming into her DMs without her ever needing to pitch, instead of having her convince people to join her programs and having them file disputes and things like that. That is the specific high-level desire that she wants beyond just the sales. Because truthfully speaking, she doesn't just want 20K months. She just doesn't want sales. She wants a specific kind of sales. Maybe it's sales from a specific caliber of clients, a very specific caliber of clients that she swears she's manifested, a caliber of clients who act with speed, who goes all in, who matches the mastery that she has alone. Right? For messaging, it could be stories that sell, storytelling that speaks to the 4 buyer types in 2026. The very specific problem or that she wants to solve is messaging, right? So messaging, what is the symptom around the problem around messaging? Maybe she is the relatable coach right now. People send her, I love this comments, they love her videos, they love her stories all the time, but they never actually buy from her. So the high level desire is she wants to become the obvious choice. She wants someone to find her page at 11 p.m. on a Tuesday evening, and by 2 a.m. is already in her sales funnel buying the most expensive product from her store, because she has positioned herself in her content, in her messaging, in her positioning as the obvious choice, as the only coach. When everyone lands on her page, the competition eliminated. She is literally the only option in their mind. It creates instant trust, instant certainty, and these clients sign up for a lifetime. Her stories compel them so much so they could go from reading a single post to binging their entire feed and knowing everything about them. Maybe it's about positioning, right? This is about mindset. I wanted to write mindset, but it's about rebrand, right? Maybe it's rewiring money blocks, right? Maybe it's rewiring subconscious blocks that she's had since childhood. So these are the 3 pillars that I want you to focus on and really take your time to think, okay, what are the 3 things that we are known for specifically? And then you're going to come up with a micro offer by dissecting, okay, how many ways can I talk about feminine sales? Because truthfully speaking, there's so many ways I can even dive into feminine sales. I can talk about selling to the subconscious. I can talk about selling in the DMs. I can talk about even positioning alongside feminine sales. I can talk about messaging alongside feminine sales. I can talk about feminine copywriting. I can even talk about how you can apply feminine sales into your sales funnel. Or even for those who are actually on sales calls, how can you incorporate that feminine and empathetic side into those sales calls? So finally, sales feel natural to you. It comes naturally. So hopefully this part definitely gives you more clarity and helps you. And the final section of how to finalize the micro offer so that it becomes a micro offer where someone finds you on a random Tuesday, decide to binge the entire micro offer and decide, okay, she is the person I need to hire, no objections, no nothing. She is already confirming her spot in the DMs. It's all around these things. The first thing is making sure that your micro offer dismantles the objection. So many people think that when they get objections that they just need a better sales script, that they just need to build more rapport, that they need to work on their sales skills and things like that. But what if you can dissolve the objection in your content and in your offer alone by dismantling the objections in the actual recordings itself? So many of the times when it comes to my micro offers, I dismantle it unconsciously within every single audio. Meaning, in every single audio, I try to find ways of showing embodied leadership using analogies, right? Using metaphors in a way where it dissolves that friction, that resistance that my audience has around the upsell. So if you know, if you're in Magnetize and Scale or in Sell Your Stories, the very famous analogy that I use is the roller coaster analogy, and I incorporate this all the time. But a great way to also dismantle objection is show how did you overcome it yourself? How are you once the person who told yourself that I'll think about it a bunch of times, and how did you move past that internal limitation that you have? How did you know it was an internal limitation? How did you overcome all the objections that you had thrown to other people? And what came out of the other side of you actually taking that risk, taking the action, and going for it instead of thinking about it logically? This is a very, very important factor, because if you would just understand that objections would not exist simply if you would just dissolve it in your content and in your offers itself, it will save not only your client but you so much time, and it would filter out only the clients who are taking it seriously directly into your offers and into your upsells. Labeling is another one. Whenever we open books, right? I was reading a book called The Imposter Cure the other day, and immediately the first thing that the book has said as soon as I picked it up is, you are the type of person who X, Y, and Z. When you label the person, they are more likely going to act towards it. Think about your boyfriend. If he doesn't go to the gym a lot, is he going to go to the gym if you keep complaining about how he doesn't go to the gym? No, he's gonna just not go even more. Versus if you were to label him as someone who is disciplined, as someone who follows through, as someone who is motivated, then he is more likely going to do it, because not only does it boost his ego, but he also associates himself as, if you were to say, oh my God, babe, like you are someone who's so motivated and I love how you actually follow through with what you say you're gonna do. The amount of motivation that you have honestly motivates me to go to the gym as well. It's so admirable. It's so attractive. And guess what he's gonna do? He's gonna be in the gym 7 days a week, okay? Upsells to your next offer. Now, this also ties into dismantling objections. If you know, again, in Sell Out Your Stories and Magnetize and Scale, I talk about this in way further. I have an entire training around this. It's around a 20 to 25 minute training where I dissect how do you actually incorporate objection handling techniques into your copy, into your messaging, into your positioning, so that the upsell doesn't even feel like an upsell itself. It feels like the next logical step. One of the ways that I love to do an upsell to my next offer is, now that you have X, you also need X. Think about a fitness offer, right? You're selling a weight loss plan, right? Now that you've lost so much weight, you got the dream body of your dreams, you're gonna look so snatched, your waist. Every single time you see a mirror, you're gonna wanna take a mirror selfie. When you go inside the bathing suit, you're gonna look so cute. You're gonna take those Instagram pictures, get a bunch of comments from people you've never even talked to before. You're gonna get a bunch of compliments in the gym from that cute workout set because it perfectly sculpts your curve and also cinches your waist. You are also going to need new clothes because nothing's gonna fit you anymore. You are going to need a, let's say, nutrition plan that's going to last you for decades to come, so you're able to actually maintain this figure whilst at the same time you are also able to indulge in your favorite bakeries and travel the world, and yet still get the body of your dreams, be in the weight of your dreams. You are going to need X, Y, and Z plan as well. So this is something that I love to do. Now that you have X, you also need X, so that you have convinced them that, hey, like, you think you got the whole piece of the pie. It's barely the entire pie. It's less than a quarter of the pie. And identity-based selling, which is also tied into labeling. People buy into the identity. Think gym memberships, think luxury bags. They don't actually buy because you are selling them an amazing bag with this fabric and things like that. We could care less about that. We care about the identity associated when we have the bag next to us, when we're walking around in the department store with a Chanel or a Hermes bag. We care about the identity around us having gym membership because it associates us as someone who takes care of our health, prioritizes our wellness, and someone who goes to the gym, wears Lululemon, drinks matcha, goes to brunch, goes to Pilates, right? We want identity. And a lot of the times when it comes to songs and books and TV shows, things like that, it all ties back to identity. And lastly, internal shift. People do not just just buy into your product because you offer value, you do more than this coach, or that you work with X, Y, and Z amount of clients. They buy when you offer an internal shift. How are you able to shift an internal limitation within them? Once you understand all of these core concepts, that is when you create a micro offer that's going to have people craving more and wanting more from you. Now, hopefully this video helped. Now that we've gone through exactly, okay, how are we able to create a micro offer based on the core 3 pillars and how to create the micro offer itself, definitely go binge Magnetize and Scale. Also Near Your New Cash Flow, because I dive way deeper into all of these things. This is barely, when I say barely, a quarter of what I teach inside of those programs. It's 5 to 6 day programs where I dive deeper into really the back end and also front end, because you can only have one thing and have like the other, right? You need both to actually scale your business and take this to multi 6 and 7 figures. And if you truly want to scale in Q3, Q4, and really take your business to the next level in 2027, I would recommend you binge every single one of the trainings that you can find on my Stan store. You will thank me later, and trust me, we will move the needle forward by probably 6 to 12 months just from a single audio training alone. But I really hope that this helps, and I really hope the entire video gives you more clarity around how you're able to create a micro offer that is actually designed to convert instead of just getting one-time buyers.